Well, guys, thanks for joining us for this video. It was one I had a bit of thought about whether I would film it or not, but I guess in the end I have decided to film it and just give you my thoughts on the Australia Cup. I went to the game on Saturday night down at Parramatta between Macarthur FC and Sydney United 58. I recorded a few videos thinking about putting together a bit of a vlog from the match, but I guess there's been a lot of fallout from the match afterwards, and I'm sure if you've been on social media for just a little bit, or if you might have read it somewhere in the papers, I'm sure you would have been aware of kind of what went down. I guess before I go into all that, I want to just talk about the match itself. Macarthur getting up 2-0 against Sydney United. Macarthur's first ever trophy. I think this is their third season now as an A-League club. So fantastic achievement from them. I actually sat on the Macarthur end of the ground, and I think we're all being quite critical of Macarthur over the years. Just very little fans, poor way to engage the local community down towards Campbelltown Way. I'll have to tell you what, it wasn't as big as the fans down behind the Sydney Croatia goal, but you know what? I was really impressed by the active support from Macarthur. They were vocal, they were keen, they went during the whole game. What was really nice to see was that actually there was a lot of young kids, and when I say young, maybe 8 or 9, they were there, they were amongst it. It seems like it's a building club, of course. It's a growing fan base. It's been hurt by COVID and a few other things in recent years, but it looks like they're in the right direction, and it's great to see a lot of kids within the active support, because I don't know, definitely not all clubs. There's a lot of clubs with active supports that probably wouldn't be that as welcoming to kids that young. But I think from a neutral perspective, and from a person who doesn't like to hate too much on expansion sides, even though they might have been a poor choice, I think it's really encouraging moving forward for them. Great game overall, great result for Macarthur. Really impressed with Daniel Arzani. He's really putting his case forward for the Socceroos squad for the 2022 World Cup. It was also a really emotional time for Ulisses Davia. Obviously, that tragedy that's hit his family. His wife passing away not too long ago. For him to win the trophy, to be named man of the match, to take his kids onto the field, it's a really special moment. And it was really touching to see the way Alassane Touré spoke. Alassane Touré, sorry, how he spoke in a post-game match interview. Just about he was really moved and really spoke fondly of Ulisses Davia's late wife, and so that's great to see Macarthur win that one. It was a fantastic achievement from Sydney United to make the final, the first ever NPL club. They won on a fantastic run. They knocked out Western United, the reigning A-League champions. They beat Brisbane Roar in the semi-final in front of a very active home crowd. And that is fantastic. That was a fantastic achievement, the first NPL club to ever do it. Now, obviously, the match aside, and the disappointing thing is we're not talking about the match too much in the media, on social media, on news websites, and probably, it's probably justified. The attention has been taken away to what was happening off the field, and I have to say it was really disappointing for someone that was at the game. I probably wasn't actually that aware of what happened. The welcome to country, I can't really remember too much of it. I think, I remember Croatian fans chanting. That was probably disrespectful. Booing, I can't remember the booing. The national anthem, I could kind of hear them singing over the national anthem, although that was being played quite loud. I think that was probably poor. I think whether you like Welcome to Countries or whether you like our national anthem, there's a degree of respect that should be shown. And so, for those periods when those things are going on, even if you don't like it, just shut up, stand up, be silent, show some respect. That's probably the least concerning thing of it all. The worst thing, I think, was all the photos that we saw of people doing the Nazi salute and alleged flags with Nazi or Nazi related paraphernalia. And I'm not going to say I'm an expert on that kind of history, and especially the Croatian right wing party that was kind of in power during World War II, the Ustasi, I think it's called. I'm not going to say I'm an expert on it, but if what I'm reading is true, it's really awful to see what some minority groups within the fan base were doing on Saturday night. The chant that was being chanted during out the game, obviously in Croatian. I'm going to say I'm not an expert in the Croatian language, so I'm not really knowing what is being said until I get back home. I check social media and I read all about it. It's really disappointing. And, Football Australia's come out condemning it. They've handed out a show cause notice to Sydney United. Sydney United have kind of come out. They've had their own statement saying they're disappointed by what's happened as well. But, it seems from what people are talking about, this is a long-standing issue within the Sydney United club that hasn't been addressed. This isn't just something that's developed overnight. This is something that's been going on for a long time, for decades, apparently, with the supporter base. Now, let's not say that Sydney United fans or Croatians are Nazi sympathisers. I think there's a small minority in the club that has to be dealt with, and dealt with harshly. And hopefully we see appropriate action taken by Football Australia and from Sydney United, because it's taken the attention from what has been a fantastic tournament onto what's happened off the field. And there was always, even within myself, a bit of a worry that this would happen, but we kind of just hope and prayed it wouldn't have happened. And here we are talking about it. So I guess those are my thoughts. Plenty of people have had their own thoughts. Really disappointing from Sydney United. I really also don't want that to hurt any kind of aspirations we have for a national second division. Because I don't want them to hurt any kind of aspirations, them themselves or just a national second division at all. We've got to make sure that we have supporter bases that are inclusive. I guess those are my thoughts on the whole matter. Moving forward, what's going to happen to Sydney United? Who knows? I guess we'll find out in the coming days. They could be banned from the tournament next year or for multiple years. Hopefully action will be taken towards those fans. Anyway, if you're at the game, maybe drop in the comments what you thought of everything. Whether you notice it too much on the field or not. Just let us know what you thought. I'd be really interested to get your perspective, because as someone who wasn't watching on TV, didn't see it as much, especially without all the understanding and the prior knowledge of what happened. But let us know what you thought of the whole matter in the comments, and I guess, and let us know what you thought about the match as well, because, I'd love to talk about the match more, because I thought the match was a great match. The tournament was great. Anyway, A-League season, not too long to go. We'll be having a video coming up on my ladder predictions. They'll be coming up very soon. Kit ratings, that might come out before the start of the season. It might come out on the weekend. Wait and see for that one. But we'll see you in the next video.